I thought, well, there's a great opportunity if we can all get together and create a website that can store images and tell the stories that the town has got to offer. That would be able to help and support our heritage and cultural attractions so well in the future. But more importantly, I think, get people, our own people here in Brecon, to take pride in the town stories and to be able to share those stories to attract visitors to come to Brecon to discover them.
Well, I guess I got involved originally just because I've always thought that Brecon undersold itself. It's got all these wonderful assets of the cathedral and 2 museums and the theatre and lots of different things about the town that people tend to forget about, or it doesn't get sung about. And this project just for me gave a different way of telling people about those places, but more to get under the skin of them, if you like, and the skin of Brecon. So I like that. And obviously I've got my gallery here in town, so the sort of artistic, cultural side of things is now particular interest for me. But, I welcomed it as a project for Brecon rather than web pages that have got just sort of reams and reams of text. I like the way that this project was thinking about telling the story. But it gave me the idea for the first time of doing a recorded conversation with an artist, which then, because of COVID, I went on and did with all the work that I was doing over exhibitions that I tried to do last year. So that was great. Didn't think I had the kit to do the recording, both filming and listening to, but realized that actually my phone was perfectly adequate. I mean, there's things you can do to make that a bit better, but it meant that, for me, for my business here at Found, I've now got over 10 videos on my YouTube channel. I've done Instagram TV, I've done things like that. And I'd like to think I would have got there, but it was because of the impetus of Brecon Story that pushed me into doing that. So yeah, everything about it has been positive to have this resource of stories, for the community, but also hopefully to encourage visitors who are coming to town to get more out of their visit here. Does that make sense? So it's everything about it's been positive. Yeah.
So, John, you were roped into working with Brecon Story because of your knowledge of the history of Brecon.
Yes, well, I'm no historian. It's just that I've always been interested in history. And of course, living in Brecon, I'm living in a town that's got a very rich historical background stretching back over the centuries.
You help translate things into Welsh for us, don't you?
Obviously, being a fluent Welsh speaker, and it's my first language, I was asked if I would be willing to translate some of the items and so on. And of course, that is no problem at all.
Well, I really enjoyed the Brecon Story experience. The questions that Gemma sent me, although I thought about the responses, you have more time later on. And also I realised how much I've learned from being a town councillor. It gives you that feeling of being able to give back to the community. And that was the whole thing with the Brecon Story. I'd like to give back, tell the Gwendolian story and give it back to the community.
When it was originally started, I was asked to be on the other side of this and was interviewed about my experience in Brecon as an art gallery manager. I manage Ardent Gallery on the High Street, and I gave my perspective on the town and how it was cultural and arty and what people could gain from visiting, but also living here. And now, obviously, I'm on the flip side of that. So I've decided to join and help to sort of bring stories to life and to give people an insight into the history of Brecon and the arts and culture and heritage of the place, but also for my own self, because, I'm a young person living in the town and I don't necessarily have a lot of kind of background about the history of the area that I live. And I love research. I'm really passionate about kind of finding things out and investigating. So this seemed like a just a great opportunity to get involved with that and also benefit the community and benefit tourism at the same time. So the going to Glamorgan was really interesting for me because, again, it was International Women's Day, a really empowering time for women. And to research such an inspirational lady that was so monumental in the history of Brecon was kind of a great intro into researching things and starting off this project and my impact within that. So yeah, that was great. And it was really well received, and sort of learning about the combination of video and audio and writing and how you marry all of them together to create a really interesting article that's going to reach people and capture kind of the effect that you want to achieve. It's not just valuable for the project, it's also like really valuable on a personal level as well for like future development and, you know, that kind of thing. It's a great project, and it doesn't just inspire people like me to be involved in it. It inspires people to come to our town and for the town to build. And there is so much to learn about Brecon that I had absolutely no idea about. I mean, the more stories that we do, the more things kind of capture me. And I hope a lot of people regularly read the Brecon Story portal and, you know, look through the history that we have to offer, because there is a staggering amount of it really for such a small place. It's also an online resource, so you can physically show someone, oh, I've been involved in this, I wrote this article, I recorded this audio, and you'd be surprised how many skills that you will learn that are transferable to employment from doing something like this. Like I say, I am in employment, but even things learning about social media and website work, that's going to benefit what I do as well. It's not just, you know, it's a very give and take situation, which is high, you know, and really, really desirable for employers to show that you're kind of doing something extracurricular, going out of your way to kind of better yourself, but also better others. And I think, you know, that can only be good for employment. Like, it can only be a good thing.